So can you please give a huge, huge round of applause and welcome the amazing Emma Doran. Woo!
Hi there, you all good? Yeah. So my name's Emma and I'm absolutely delighted to be here. And I've had a little bit of a rough time the last little while. Basically, just before we start, I'll tell you, I crashed my car a few weeks ago and I hit a cyclist. Completely my fault, was not paying attention to what I was doing. But thank God there was no one around, so I just drove off. Holla! You know, I already have 2 penalty points. I don't need that kind of shit in my life. I am a good person. Okay, I'm a good person. Any cycle? No. Okay. So anyway, forget about that. But I do actually believe in karma. I'm a strong believer in karma. I'm not religious or anything like that, but I think karma makes the world happen, and you can see it every day. Does anyone here believe in karma? You know what you put out comes back. Like, just one of my favorite examples of that is, and you can see it every day, old people are the worst, and most of the time they die. You know what I mean? It isn't that great? Isn't that just that reassurance when you're thinking, can this world get any worse? And then an old person pops their clogs and you're like, it restores your value, you know? I think it's a great thing. I am trying to somebody laughing a little bit too hard about their grandparents there. Okay. I am trying to be a good person though, and I'm trying to self-improve. I'm all about self-improvement. And I recently was giving up smoking. Any smokers here? Yeah, a few smokers. Are you a smoker? Lady with the blonde hair? That's you, yeah. Yeah, and how many would you smoke a day? Like couple, so that's like 20, isn't it? Yeah. Only a few. 60 on a Good Friday night, yeah. I did all that. So I decided, I'm going to try and give up. But I was doing that thing, I kind of cheated. Have you done this where if I was having a drink, I'd let myself have a smoke? Do you know? And I was getting on okay, but trying to squeeze 25 drinks into one day. I was so tired, you know what I mean? But I'll get back on it. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this time. But I think it's just I'm getting a little bit older. And a friend of mine, my best friend Louise, she started doing CrossFit. And anyone here do CrossFit? No, that's not so much the vibe here tonight. The smokers, I see a few heads, and then the CrossFit, we're like, well, no. But she was looking great, and you could see it in her physique and stuff. And she was telling me about her pre-workout routine and post-workout and all this kind of stuff. And I was just getting so confused because it was as if she thought I gave a shit. Do you know that kind of way? What? How long have we known each other? Come on, pull it together. But no, she was looking good, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just what you look. Nobody cares about the inside; it's what you look like and all that. So she said, "Why don't you come to my gym, like a day pass kind of thing, and see? Just try it. No commitment, just try it. See how you get on." I was like, "Fine," and I went along, and I was actually enjoying it. I was actually, I could get into this, and I went down to the weight section, and then this guy came over. You know, these kind of guys, really beefy kind of guy, built like a Jack Russell, about 4'2". And he has, those neck muscles. They kind of make it looks like they're a lizard. You know that thing. Well, they can't. The movement is minimal. It's just the same. But he was one of those guys, his whole arm was covered in tribal tattoos. And I am a sucker for tribal tattoos. Does anyone here have tribal tattoos? No? I love those on men because I think, wow, it just shows a real sense of like vulnerability, that he actually thought that that was cool at one point in his life. That's what I'm looking for, you know. I don't want no man with a backbone. I want somebody who's easily led. I'm like, yeah. If he thinks that was a good idea, imagine what I could get him to do. I'm like, oh, wow. So I was kind of taken aback, and he came over anyway, and he was like, you can't do this. You'll have to leave. Get out now. Get out now. And I was like, wow. I didn't think men like that still existed. I was in shock. So I stabbed at my cigarette. I finished my drink. Equality, hello, equality, you know, but. So I didn't go back, but my friend Louise, she's kind of, anyone have a friend that they've been friends with like their whole life? Yeah. Are they here now or no? You see now, some people, that's like a really strong friendship, but, you know, it's kind of a hostage situation, isn't it? Because there has to be one person in that relationship that wants to get out of it. Like, how long, what age did you meet each other?
We're actually been friends for 52 years.
52 years, so like really small. So you're telling me that baby you was such a good judge of character. You could pick somebody. You could pick somebody who would be a lifelong friend. You were that sophisticated. So Louise is my lifetime friend. Are you happy in your friendship? Okay, so we know where you lie on the friendship thing. Okay. I'm just here to help, okay? So she's great. She's great, but she is kind of one of these people. It's not that she's thick, all right? It's not. Okay, Louise is not thick, but you would feel a lot better about her if she did some sort of training in everyday living. You know what I mean? Just some sort of certificate that says I'm able to go to the shop by myself and come back, you know, that kind of thing. But even when she doesn't leave her house, something happens there. She rang me a couple of weeks ago and she wanted me to come over. Her pet budgie had died. Okay, her pet budgie, who she called Red. And I was like, why did you call the budgie Red? So budgie is a little bird. People know that, yeah? Yeah. Because I was at a gig one night and there was an American man. He's like, I thought it was a raccoon. And I was like, if it was a raccoon, I would have said it was a raccoon. It's a budgie. A budgie is a budgie, okay? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, her budgie had died and she'd called the budgie Red. And I was like, why'd you call it Red? And she's like Robin Redbreast. I was like, okay, that makes no sense, Louise, whatever. So I didn't know Louise had a budgie, but she told me the story. She'd just gotten the budgie that day, right? The budgie had flown into her house, right? She'd rang the DSPCA, like Animal Protection, and asked for their advice. And their advice was, look, no one's reported a missing budgie. Best thing you can do is keep this budgie hydrated. So she'd left out water for the budgie and gone to the pet shop and got in a cage and was ready to start her new life with Red, okay? She had a lot going on in her life at the time, so this was big. This was something positive in her life. She came back to the house after like 40 minutes and the budgie had drowned. Okay, so normal people would like, you know, fill, what would you fill like for a little bird, a drink? Little bowl, yeah, little bowl, little saucer. Louise had filled the whole of the kitchen sink and left the budgie, and the budgie had drowned. Now we're all, you know, the budgie committed suicide, okay? Red took one look at Louise and thought, like, I don't fancy my chances. But the worst thing is, though, Louise used to be a lifeguard. Do you know what I mean? She should have known better. But that was the bad thing about it. But I think, though, she was kind of a little bit down to her, and I said, you know what? I told her a story that when my granny died, and at the funeral, my granddad decided to say a few words. So we weren't expecting it at all. He was a very quiet kind of guy, and he just stood up, and he said, I met Sheila when I was 14. I fell in love with her straight away, and I never stopped loving her. And the feeling in the room was unbelievable. You could hear a pin drop. It was incredible. Now, my granny's name was Anne, okay? We don't know who Sheila was. It was a good. It was. They were very good sandwiches that day. That's all I'll say. So I'm going to shoot off now, and you guys are fantastic. You're lovely. This is no, you are. This is a joy. This is an utter joy because a lot of the time, comedy can be like rough going. Okay, it can be hard, and that's seriously, it's pain. It crushes my heart every day. But one night I was at a gig and I was talking about comedy being hard, and I started getting shouts going, "Oh, that's your problem. That's the way you like it. You like it hard," and all this stuff. And I was on stage and I was just burning up. I was mortified. And I said to myself after that, I said, you know what? Do you know what? I'm not going to let my boyfriend come to any more of my gigs. Okay, thanks, Emil. Bye.